Hello, let's do Starstruck for Saturday, January 17th. We'll do the easy first and then the hard. The easy is called sizes 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, I found our size 1. So we need the way this game works is we need a star in every row, a star in every column, and a star in every colored region. And the stars aren't allowed to touch, not even diagonally. So this region only has one place for a star, so it must have a star there. Now this region is 2 in size, and that's interesting because it's going to use up the star for the column because we're going to have a star here or here. That'll definitely be a star for the column. But also, this cell, for example, touches both of them. Remember, stars can't touch. So we can't put it here, 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 or here because it would touch wherever the star is in gray. Now there's 2 left in this red, takes up the row. It also X's this one, but it was already X'd because it touches both. But it also X's this one because it touches both. That puts the star into gray, which then only 1 left in this light blue. 2 left in yellow. It's going to X all those out. These are already X'd out. There's only 1 left in brown. Only 1 in yellow now, 1 in orange. And 1 in red and 1 in green. There we go. So this one should be very plonkable. Just plonk, 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 plonk until you're done. All right, let's do the hard. See how the hard treats us today. It's called staircases. All right. Sure does look like staircases. Okay. So this formation, this touches all 3. What else do we got going for us? This W that touches this touches the entirety of yellow. Sees all of yellow. Do we have any? I feel like we're gonna have to pull out our pen for this one. What I'm looking at right now is these top 3 rows. And I'm noticing that there's 4 regions. But as soon as we bring in a 4th row, now there's 5 regions. A 5th row adds a 6th region. So we got to be really careful about this. But what we can say is because of these top 3 rows, we got to be really careful about more stars in gray, red, and orange. Because 2 of them are going to give a star up here. I don't know exactly what to do with that, but gray, red, and orange are quite restricted down here. 1 star in all of that. So can we utilize that in some way? Basically, I'm saying that in all of these cells that I'm kind of marking up here, in every single one of these cells, there's exactly 1 star. Does that help us combine anything else? Exactly 1 star in those cells. So anything else I can do here that might be more straightforward? 1, 2, 3. That's a lot. Something vertical? No. All right, this is an interesting one. How do we get? Oh, okay. So sorry, I don't know why I did the top 3 rows. I can do the top 2 rows, and that's a bit silly. But what this does is this says, hey, row 1's going to give a star somewhere, and row 2 is going to give a star somewhere, and they can't be in the same region. So one of them will give a star to this orange, and one will give a star to this gray, meaning the rest of orange and gray can't have a star because they're going to be up here. And so now we can see kind of what I was saying before a little bit more easily, which is that in this row here, the star is going to be given to either red or orange, meaning the rest of red or orange will have 1 star in it. Okay. Exactly 1 star in all of this shaded area. There's got to be like some way to think about the rest of this. Like the other thing I'm seeing, this is, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to do anything. Let me actually clear out what I just highlighted there. So to the left of this line, we know that one of the stars is going to be in this orange and one's going to be in this light blue. And so there's 1 more star, and it's either sitting right here in this gray, or it's giving it to red or yellow. What's interesting about this gray is it forces, so if we were to put a star here, it sees this, 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 and this in some way, either touching or same row or column, whatever. And so that would force a star here. So what that would do is it would put a star somewhere along here. I don't really know. Oh no, it would put a star in one of these two, right? And so it would put a star in one of these two. A little bit of a look ahead here, but trying to see if something breaks. It doesn't seem to break. None of these would be in. Do I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, that works. I don't know. There's something going on there, but I don't quite know what it is. All right, what else can we actually do here? So if I were to put a star anywhere else in orange, it's not going to have a star here. So we're forced to have a star in red or yellow down here. That doesn't seem to do much, does it? I gotta look elsewhere. Like, there's kind of a vibe here, which is not logic. That like in these two rows we need two stars. One's definitely going to red or orange. Feels like the other one should go to red or orange. Otherwise, there's only one cell for green and there's a bunch of cells for the others. But it's kind of like a probability thing. So one thing we could consider is what happens if we do put it in that green. Because if I'm vibing that it's probably not in that green, it doesn't hurt to ask the question, well, what if it is in that green, and see if there's like a way that it breaks in like, is there an obvious way that it breaks? It would force a star into one of these reds. So we'd have a star here and a star in one of these reds. We'd have a star here. Aha, so that's no good. So I think it's the interaction between this blue and this green here somehow. It has to do with the brown. So if I were to put a star here, that takes out these two from brown and these two from here. And now the issue is that this star sees the remainder of brown. So we don't get anything in brown. Now, is there some way that I can say that a bit more cleanly? A little bit, yeah. I don't know. So in general, a star here sees almost all of brown. It leaves just these two. So a star here must have a star in brown over here, which means this one can't be in, but this one forces that star. So I don't know. I don't know if there's like a cleaner way to have seen that, but the point is this is never in because this forces that. Now there's nowhere to put in brown. So now we know that in these two rows between my two lines here, we've got a star in orange and a star in red because we need two stars for those two rows. So the rest of orange and the rest of red cannot be a star. All right. There might be more like that. It's kind of hard to phrase what's going on here though. This does the same thing. This one here does the same thing because it forces a star here and now there's nowhere in brown. And in fact, there must be something about this where, oops, I hit the wrong undo. There must be, so I guess I can just exit out, but is it the whole column that's doing that? Yeah, so if I were to put a star anywhere in this column other than brown, it forces a star here and now brown has nowhere to go. And I don't know like how to better phrase that. It's weird. It just has to do with the shape of brown. Okay, let's put it this way. Wherever we put a star in brown, there's two options. We're either going to put a star in one of these areas, and if we do that, this can't be a star. And so now we're eliminating all of these through the star in one of these two. If we put a star in one of these two, we're just directly eliminating these. So that's probably a cleaner way to see that the rest of this column can't be in. Now this orange, this cell actually sees these two in the column and touches this one, and this cell touches all three of them. Okay, and now this cell here touches these two and sees this in the row. And so now we're down to 2 in orange, so the rest of this column's not in. Which means one of these two's in, which means these two aren't. Now one of these 3 is in, so that is out. Okay, slowly whittling away. Is there anywhere else? Actually, I think we can do 4 columns here. Is that going to do anything? I think it's going to do something, at least for gray. So we have 4 stars to the left of this line. One's in orange, one's in blue, one's in yellow. But we still need to place another star. It's going to get placed in one of these 3 in gray. So these grays aren't in, and also this touches what's left in gray. So that's not in. All right. So anything more to do with that? 2 left in orange. What about yellow? Is there something with yellow I can do? Okay, so this dark blue and this brown are going to use up they're going to use up the bottom 2 rows, right? Because they can't escape out of the bottom 2 rows. So one star will come from dark blue, one will come from brown. So everything else under here can't be in. And that places our yellow. And that places our green. Places our brown and our dark blue. Places gray, orange, light blue, red, and orange. All right. That was an interesting one. I think that the key deduction was how brown affected this right column. That was kind of a key deduction. And then the rest kind of flowed from there. Also noticing the top 2 rows, of course. But getting rid of the rest of this column was huge. Then it was relatively straightforward. All right, cool. Well, how'd you do?